Today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to change your oil in 2004 Chevy Silverado. This will basically be the same concept as basically any other vehicle. It's really not that difficult. Probably the first thing you want to do is get yourself a vehicle to change your oil, then find somewhere to change it. You don't really want to be changing your oil in like an apartment complex parking lot. Maybe go to a family member's house, empty driveway. If they have an empty driveway, don't go to a random empty driveway. Yeah. What we will do though is remove the oil fill cap, because that'll help flush the system out more, because it's like draining a gallon of milk. If you pop a hole in it, it'll pour out easier. It's just airflow. The tools you might need to do the job is a socket that'll correctly fit your drain plug, a ratchet, and maybe oil filter pliers or oil filter wrench. You want to use an impact to remove your drain plug. I know people have done that. I've heard of people doing it. I mean, of course, unless you just want to get oil in your mouth and wherever else. The Silverado has a 15 millimeter drain plug. That, of course, will vary based on your vehicle. You don't want to just get that just because I said so. Really get down there and check with the different size sockets and use the correct one. Everyone already knows that drain plugs are made with the softest material known to man. So after a few times of use, it'll start to round. That just happens, especially if your vehicle has been taken to like a Jiffy Lube or Walmart or anywhere like that. The people there don't really know what they're doing, so just take that into consideration. All right, the one thing I forgot to mention that you'll need is an oil pan to drain into. So in the Silverados, your transmission's in the rear, obviously. Your drain plug's right here. This is basically for people who've never done it before and aren't really familiar. And then your oil filter is right there. When doing your oil filter, only make it hand tight. I've heard people will, make it hand tight and then cranking on half a turn or a quarter turn with a wrench. You don't really need to unless you feel you didn't get it as tight with your hand as you could, because some vehicles the oil filter's in a tricky spot. So just do it hand tight, and then you should be good. Obviously just start it up when you're done and check for leaks. When doing your oil filter, when you remove it, make sure the old seal is gone or still on the old filter, and that you don't leave it on there. And then when you put the new filter on, put some oil around the seal to help it seal up and everything like that. Okay, so I removed the drain plug and I removed the oil filter. One thing you should do is clean up the area where the seal meets. Just to help it seal better, make sure you're not going to get any leaks or anything like that. So like I was talking about with the oil filter and cranking that down, you also don't want to do that with your drain plug. That just makes for a bad time in case you're the next one doing it or you have someone else do it. You want to make sure that oil drain plug will come off. I've seen them where they don't, and it just makes a mess. It's unnecessary. You gotta get a whole new plug. You just don't want to do it. Just get it tight, nice and snug. You don't want it too loose. Like I said, when you start it up and run it, you're gonna make sure that there's no leaks anyway. So the oil filter I'm using today is a Mobile One extended performance. It says protects up to 20,000 miles. I'm just going to replace it when I do the oil next, which is usually every 4,000 or 5,000 miles. So like I was talking about the seal, your seal is this rubber part down here. You just want to, I dip my finger in the oil pan and put some oil in there before you put it on. So as you can see, I have the oil filter and drain plug back on, and I cleaned up the area with some brake clean I had. If it's dirty and messy, you definitely want to use some brake clean to get it nice and clean. So just like the oil filter I was using, I'm using Mobil One synthetic 10W30. It recommends 530. I like running a heavier weight. You're less likely to burn or leak oil if it's a little bit heavier, or so they say. It doesn't really matter what kind of oil you're using, as long as you're not using like store-bought brand oil. I wouldn't use that. I don't really trust that. Yeah. So the Chevy Silverado 5.3 liter takes 6 quarts of oil. You want to find that out if you're not doing an oil change on a Silverado. Look through your owner's manual or online. It'll be somewhere with how much oil your vehicle takes. If you have to look online and they say, oh, it takes like 5 quarts or 6 quarts, go with 4, and then check it. So that way you're not going to overfill it. A funnel is a good tool to have also. You also want to have your vehicle on a level ground so that you're getting a proper reading. I know my truck takes 6 quarts, so I know like I don't necessarily have to be on level ground. Also be careful. Some vehicles tend to spill out. Even if you're using a funnel, they'll spill out of the fill tube that goes to the engine. One thing that I like to do with the used oil is pour it back into the containers that I got for the new oil. Once you're done filling it, just put your cap back on. It's always a good idea to take a rag or a towel to stuff in your funnel so you don't get oil everywhere. So then after that's good, you got everything back in, it's time to start it. I'm gonna let it run for a little bit. Ignore the check engine light. So when you start it up, you can just let it idle. Do not rev it up, especially to the red line. A little rev isn't gonna hurt it, you know. Sometimes car and truck guys like hearing their engine. Also ignore the dust. I have to clean my truck. It's been a while. Usually be where you check your oil I'm just going to do it once I find a level ground because my driveway's slanted. Yeah, you also don't need to have like a perfect driveway. As you can see, I was laying in the gravel. It's just the way I do it. I don't mind it. You can get mats laid down. That's actually a truck bed liner. You can use something like that, or creepers usually suck on gravel, but if you have a flat surface, it's not too bad. And then you just want to clean up your mess and you'll be good to go. Probably mention is how to get rid of the change oil light. So with this Chevy, and there's I know multiple other vehicles that do it, you basically want to read your owner's manual. It'll be in there. Sometimes it's hard to find and it might be easier to find online. So with the Chevy, turn the key to just the accessory, tap the gas 3 times, turn the key off, and then you'll be good to go. Now that the work's done, time to play. Go ahead. Careful. Woo! Woo! Oh, almost. Check out this dude. He thinks he can do a flip, but he's just got a mullet, so. Woo! Yeah! Oh, wow. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share with all your friends. Yay!